everybody. Happy new week. Hope you're doing amazing. And next to me, I have got one of our newest children's books authors, Maree Durnan, who lives at the base of the Blue Mountains in New South Wales. Good morning, Maree.
Good morning. Such a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
And thank you so much for being flexible to jump in this morning. We had a little bit of a swap with the interviews this morning, but I'm excited to be sharing this with you guys and the book Cloud Kingdoms, which is freshly hot off the press. And Maree, show us your book there. There's, on the background on your banner there, but I'll show you guys briefly. There she is holding it up proudly. And here it is a little bit bigger on the screen. I'll show you the book here, guys. Cloud Kingdoms, 3 Aussie kids uncover a new world, life on the clouds. Now I'm going to share with you guys a little bit about how this came about, and then we're going to get stuck into the conversation with Anne-Marie with around it. So as a 5-year-old, Anne-Marie visited a planetarium with her mum and her grade 6 science class. Her head had been tilted to the sky ever since. When Anne-Marie's son was 7, they made up this world, finding shapes in the clouds while lying on their trampoline. Her aunt published her own short stories, which inspired her to write this book as an adaptation. So wonderful. So first of all, how long, I guess, was it churning in your head all this time? Well, how old is your son now?
20.
Oh, wow.
So literally when he was 7, it came to us while we created it while we were on the trampoline. So it's been percolating for a very long time. Yes. And I saw it as a movie, when you see things and your vision is of it a certain way, and it came very clearly as a movie. And my son named some of the characters, and we had a lot of fun with it. We still, even though he's old, I'll still say, look at that cloud. And he actually, so that was when he was 7. And I really wanted to write a script, but I had no training in anything. So I did a couple of workshops along the way, and I had a go, but I read it back and it was terrible. So I put it down and life got in the way. And I pretty much did that again about 4 years later and thought, okay, I'll just get it out so I don't actually forget everything, because there's a lot there. So that's what I did. Started doing it as a book, but then put it down again. So in COVID, I was blessed that after one of your workshops, a couple of years after one of your workshops, I heard from you guys that you were certainly doing children's books now. So I jumped on board and I'm so pleased.
I'm so happy for you, Anne-Marie, because sometimes it can happen quickly, like within a year or so, which is, how long we were mucking around with to get your illustrations, right. And, for you to get a product that you were super proud of. But, it was percolating for, 13 years, as you say, prior to that, which is a long time. So, so COVID was kind of the thing that gave you that time and space to do it.
Yes. And I do have a couple of illustrations that I thought it might explain why I was it wasn't black and white.
Yeah. They're absolutely beautiful and very detailed, which is what I love about it. What age range is it targeted at?
So this is for younger middle grades, and that's my niece read it to her grade 3 class and said it was perfect. However, I've also got people that are saying that their clients from the NDIS program loving it as well. So there's sort of that, you can be read aloud to younger ones too. So I had a Kirkus review done, so I'm not too sure if people know about Kirkus, but I thought I'll get that done because I don't have the contacts to get anybody else reviewing it in terms of known people. And I got it back and my heart sank because it said it was saccharin and something else. But then I thought it had ridiculously silly. But that to me is exactly what the book's about. there's a lot of joy and wonder.
Oh, amazing. And as it goes through, you will get reviews, and keep asking people who do read it to, send you feedback and all that sort of stuff. But the most important thing is you went through the process and you got it done, which I say, 90% of something is better than 100% of nothing.
Absolutely. And the actual review is apparently very good. So I just thought, oh no, they think it's too sweet, but then I thought, well, it's what I'm aiming for. Lots of fun and laughter.
That's exactly right. So what will I guess readers get from the book? What do you think, like, if you were to describe it, what
so the readers themselves, because it can be read by like newly independent readers, so the young children reading it or having it read to them, I'm hoping that it's going to create the joy and wonder that I got as a child, so my mum taking me to the planetarium, I'll never forget looking up and just being absolutely awestruck. And just being able to capture that. There's a broken joke machine in it, broken joke booth. So there's a little bit of comedy. There's quite a bit of that actually. So there's adventure and thrills, but there's also some lessons, and I say I sneak them in like veggies at dinner. So it touches on things like caring for the environment, and then there's also the touches on bullying and speaking up for yourself, and there's so many lessons, but I actually didn't want to put that on the book because I thought kids won't want to read it if it's going to just talk about lessons. So I try and keep them quite subtle.
I mean, I love what you said about sneaking in the veggies so they don't notice it, but the lessons are within that. I love that. I think that's the only way to make a point with children. If you tell them something's healthy or good for them, or they should learn something, then they're going to do it. But if they do it through adventure and play and, something that just keeps their brain and the imagination going. So with the stories in the book, like the chapters from real life, like where you guys had particular experiences, were they retold from real life encounters?
There's certainly a lot of things in there that come from real life. It's actually, so I haven't really explained, but 3 Aussie cousins get accidentally transported up onto the clouds. They land on Carnival Cloud, and it's run by a family. So there's 2 children in that family, and the 5 of them. So there's 5 new characters to get to know, and they're all quite different. So within those personalities and within the challenges that they face, some of them were really things that my son had dealt with, some of the things that I'd dealt with. And of course, my parents, my dad used to always say, keep moving forward. So there's some underlying lessons that I'm trying to get through, but not the actual, when we flew on planes a lot from Melbourne to Sydney, that created a lot of help with the storyline because we're looking down at the clouds all the time. And that's where it got further sort of juice in terms of what I could do with it. And
yeah. So is one of the characters kind of your son's character, and then the other ones are like kind of made up, or?
That was the way it was going to be, but because literally he was 7 when I wrote it, and I completed it when he was 20 or 19, and that's where I went back and was able to do a little bit more work because I'd done some more workshops and learned a little bit more about the actual needs of a story, or writing 101, which I'd never thought of before in my life. So I was able to sort of go back and create his character in a couple of them actually.
Amazing. What does he think of it now that has he read it now that it's been out, or
I'm thrilled. I'm absolutely thrilled to know that little ones are actually reading it. And I said to one girl the other day, who's your favorite character? Thinking I'd know who her favorite character was, and it wasn't who I thought it was. And it made me really think, oh great, that's so cool to know people have got their own going to have their own take on it.
Their own favorites, you know, like the boy bands of the 80s when we had like that with 5 boys and everyone liked someone different, right?
That's right. There's a girl, there's the youngest is 9-year-old and the girl, and there's a 10-year-old girl, and there's 3 boys, and they're like between 11 and 12. And the young girl to me is, you know, quite sassy and independent for a little one. And I thought this little girl would really relate to her, but no, she liked the quieter one. So I thought,
Yeah, they go for the ones they can relate to, and they most like them. That's what I noticed with my 3 kids, is the characters when we watch movies, the ones that are most like them, closest to their age and all that kind of stuff, they're the ones that they relate to. And if you've got 5 different ones, that would give something for everybody. Are there any parents in the book, or is it just purely kids having an adventure?
No, there's actually the parents, Mr. and Mrs. C. So they are quite a big part of the book. So the kids are taken back to the home, they stay in the home, and they're a large part of it. So the adults that are in it are those 2, plus a teacher, lady that teaches Aboriginal art, and there's 2 policemen, and there's one older boy, you know, a brooding older brother. So he's got a bit of history there, so that comes out as well. But that's the adults are where my voice, I guess, gets to be a little bit heard. So that's through the environment things and such. But I found that writing the kids, I actually had more input into their character, because it was like I was able to be silly, you know.
Yeah,
I loved it.
I love it. You've got a comment here from Karen. Sounds like a great book. Now I am a step grandma with kids in that age group. I would definitely be interested in this book, and we'll let you guys know where you can get the book. I'm sure Lindy, Lindy will post the website link. Actually, Anne-Marie, show us your little thing you prepared earlier. There it is, cloudkingdoms.au. Super easy to remember. The name of the book.au, guys. And we'll repeat that towards the end. But yeah, and I'll show you the website where you can get it. But absolutely, yeah, I'm super proud. So let's talk about 2 other things. I want to talk about how long did the writing take, and then we want to talk about like the publishing process, because you are very intricate and detailed about the publishing process, which is awesome. You know, I always say, take as long as you need to take, as long as you get a product that you absolutely are proud of and super excited about. And some people will get there faster, some people will get there slower, but at the end, you know, that you're proud. And then at the end, I want to talk a little bit about what do you want to see yourself do with this book? And, you know, are you writing more, you know, kind of thing. So let's go back to the first one. You know, how long did it take to actually write the content, the story?
So the first part of the content I'd started writing, you know, a long time ago, and I was so surprised that I'd done more than I thought. So when I went back and opened up my, you know, my treasure trove of, you know, when you collected over the years of all the ideas, and I was really relieved that I'd actually done at least 3 chapters. So it had me, it changed a lot, like I said, but that process, I'd say 6 months. When I think about the length of how we worked together, by the time I got it to editing, I'd say over the next 6 months, I was able to complete it.
Yeah, amazing.
My memory's not the best, so.
That's good. And I've seen you transform quite a lot through this process. Would you say, I always say writing your first book is not about the book, but about the person you become at the other end of it. Do you think, does that ring true for you?
Absolutely, Nat, because I had 0 knowledge of publishing, and the whole process is brand new, and I'm able to learn. That's, you know, I'm always happy to learn new things, but I'm not the fastest learner. However, I was able to just like take it a step at a time with the help from you guys, you know, like you'd say, no, back off, you know, not in the nicest possible way, of course. You'd say, you don't have to worry about that yet. let's look at this first. And
Yeah.
it was really helpful for me because, you know, my history as a human is I've had some depression and anxiety, and I thought I'd be overwhelmed by this. And I was, you know, at times, and you were able to say, basically, you beautiful ladies were so patient and say, it's okay, you know, just let's look at this for today. And so I was very appreciative of that. And the lessons I've learned have been huge. And they have been a lot of lessons in terms of literary lessons and learning about publishing. And I've still got, like, I've just scratched the surface. But personally, just that I can do it. And it's one of these things that I have said, if I'm not going to be on my deathbed wondering what if. This is the one thing. I've had many other things. I've tried 2 other books. I've, you know, just getting them out there. And I thought, no, I feel like this is a gift. So I have to get it out there. And I thought, if I can just get it so that my son will have it to read, or my nieces and nephews, etc., I'll be happy. But now, who am I kidding? I want it to be a movie.
Love that. I love that. And I love that vision. And I often think, yeah, you need to write the book first before the movie, because you actually go through that, you know, refining process and, you know, pulling it all together, tidying it up, all that kind of stuff. And then you've got also something tangible you can pitch if you were going to be movie to somebody else. So that's amazing. I love what you said, that giving yourself that gift of and permission to go through the journey of publishing a book. Many people, it's low self-worth and fear that keeps them away from becoming an author, not time and money, which is surface level excuses. It's actually that self-worth and fear that, you know, what if I'm not good enough? What if, you know, who says that I'm the expert if they're writing their book on their expertise? Or, you know, I'm not creative, which is BS. Every single person is creative in their own right. And yeah, as I said, you know, I've seen you and I've seen the girls like give you all the steps, and that's exactly right. When you're doing the publishing for the first time, you want to know all the steps, but it's not good to know all the steps. It's actually just take it. What are the actions I'm going to do today, and get on with those actions. What are the actions got to do tomorrow or next week or next month, whatever it is, to get closer to, because it's a detailed process, right?
That meant the world to me.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have been able to do it on my own.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love the fact that you also attended your publishing accelerator calls where you would pop in, let us know what you're doing, hear what other people are doing, and kind of go, oh, that's coming up for me, but it's not relevant now. But you're kind of like just sharing with like-minded people, which are also, it's pushing you to, you know, keep taking the next step.
Absolutely. And to know, it's like connection, you know, to know that I'm not the only one going through this. I'm not the only one doing this for the first time. Yeah. Excuse me. And it's funny you're talking about fear, because I actually that was something I thought of last night when we're chatting, I thought that's one of the things that I don't know if it's going to come up, but absolutely integral was overcoming that and going, you know what, I'm doing it regardless. Yeah. And the old saying, success is on the other side of fear, you know, and I thought, if it's just something we'll read, that's okay.
Yeah. And that's not to put that kind of pressure. I have to be a bestseller. I have to sell thousands of books, you know, I actually, when I wrote my first book, the weight loss book, I was actually told by a person while I was writing it, and I might have been even in the midst of the publishing process, I ran into someone at networking, and she just kind of really downplayed and said to me, oh, you know, writing books is just not, like, it's not going to get you anywhere. Don't think, like, you know, like actually I wasn't writing it to sell thousands of it. For me, my intention was to help me have a business card on steroids, which was, you know, to support my business. And, you know, as it came out, that's exactly what happened. Like, I've never counted book sales. For me, it's my books serve my clients and the people that know of me. And the rest I do through my business and all that kind of stuff. So same thing with you, you know, if you start without putting so much pressure on yourself to achieve some goal, which you don't actually know. I always find that we're in a bit of a fog when we're writing our first book. Like, you know, you only see the next few steps, right? Because, you know, as you get closer, you see the next few. And so that's how I think also the successful with the book will unfold, because everyone will end up going down a different tangent. Some people will go and, you know, speak to schools, or like say with a children's book, or collaborate with people that are relevant, and other people just want to give the book at Christmas to their family, and others want to build the 6- and 7-figure businesses. So everyone is different. So for you, one of your goals is you'd like to have it turned into a movie. Is there any other goals that you have, like aside from obviously your family and friends and those that know of you accessing it? Any other?
Well, going through the year with being on Facebook groups and being with your crew, you know, I do understand that social media is the way to go, which isn't my strength. So it's another learning curve, and I will continue to do that. That's what I've got to continue to work on. But also all these other little ideas keep popping up for the next book. So I keep writing them down. Like, there's always the thought. There was so much more that obviously clouds can go everywhere. And there's a whole other avenue, you know, that I can go with, but it's not something that I've literally started another book, but I do expect that I'll write one. And but definitely the movie. I definitely want to see it there, or a TV series. Actually, I paid to join a group, like a platform, and I had somebody look at it in America, and you know, it was something that they said, oh well, actually, only from like a short synopsis and treatment, they call it, and they said, oh, I actually could see it as an educational series. And I thought, wow, yeah, that's cool. And I didn't know whether I'd like it animated or not. I first thought, oh, it has to be animated. But then I thought, not with what they can do with movies these days.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, you could take it a few different ways. You know, I can see how the book can just become a movie with each of its, you know, scenes and chapters turned into that. But then you could make a series where each chapter is an episode. Or as you say, an educational aspect of, you know, friends, you know, just gotta take the actions and put it out there. And now you've got a physical product that you can pitch with, you know, with an application to people, and you know, and ask around. Who knows, somebody that, you know, I had people, I think in Hollywood, there's a lot of people who look at turning books into movies and looking for new scripts and new ideas. And I believe I spoke to someone many, many years ago who was curious and was helping people do some of these things. But I can't remember his name. I had a conversation with him, but there is something. If you Google stuff, you'll
let's take you to get some hypnotherapy and have some past life regressions. Go back into
this was, I spoke online of one. I remember I was in a Sydney hotel room before, you know, and we had connected, and I kind of, because I didn't have as many authors who had this goal, we didn't keep talking because but now I have quite a few of you guys, you know, doing books like this that can be turned into movies. You know, potentially I can find my contact and figure out you know, how to just even a conversation. You might need to have 10, 20, 30, 100 conversations.
Absolutely.
You know, it's a numbers game, and when there's a match, you know, it can take those next steps.
And I think if you don't ask, you don't get. That's something that my mum taught me. So I tend to find that I'm talking to people and I'll just sort of say, oh, yeah, what industry are you in? You know.
Networking, it's super powerful. Like, networking is something that I'm a big fan of. You know, being attending a couple of events every week, making people aware you exist. So that's something, you know, you can be doing, you know, also in addition to the social media stuff. And actually in March, we've got our social media masterclass for authors. I know you didn't do the full program. You did like a hybrid version of it, but you can pop into that. Like there's a small fee, and it's a full day training that we've got available. So amazing. So, but most importantly, let's tell you guys where they can get the book. So as we shared halfway through the interview, it's cloudkingdoms.au. And here also, guys, I have got the website open. So just for those of you that are watching this on a video, I'll show you the website. I know some people are listening to this as a podcast. So here's Cloud Kingdoms, ordering within Australia and outside of Australia. And then as you flick down, you can see the book and read a little bit about Anne-Marie there, and get yourself or your young children a copy, or read it out to your little ones, because they all love to hear stories. You could read a chapter a day and kind of keep it going for about 12 days. Also the book, yeah.
At the moment, I know that they've got 2 classes that are doing the teachers reading it at Crunch and Sip. So I'm very impressed.
I love it. That's very cool. My I've got a grade 3 child. My youngest is grade 3 this year, and she took well, my son and my daughter's books are right here behind me, and she's taken them in and they kind of read it. So this is also another title I could recommend for them. That's really awesome. All right. So also, guys, if you go directly to Anne-Marie's website, probably she'll sign it and send it out to you. But also the book can be found on all your good online resellers like Amazon, all that sort of stuff. So distribution has been enabled, so you guys can look it up. And I can't wait to hear what the next book is going to be about. Is it going to be another children's, or you think it's going to be an adult book? Like, is it kind of?
Well, in all honesty, there's another book that I've been waiting to write, but I have to write this one. So I think that'll be it'll be another, it'll be a follow-up story. And I must say, I did have the fortune of getting into the local.
Amazing. Send me a photo of that.
I've learned a bit along the way. Be pushy.
Absolutely. Send me a photo of that page. I want to kind of have a look at it and have a read of what they featured. But that's the one thing that comes together with authoring. You will get media opportunities, and you will get noticed and asked to speak and in front of groups that are relevant and all that kind of stuff. So I just love the doors that open up. And as long as you guys as authors, are taking the actions and going out there, there's no reason why this can't be successful, and you can make your return on investment on going through the process like tenfold, if not more. That's always my intention with whenever I get help and assistance with experts and all that, is just do the actions. There's obviously a recipe that works. Follow the recipe, take it, and some things are going to work, some things are not, but well done on being persistent. One thing I loved about you on this journey is you stayed patient, you stayed persistent, and like a dog with a bone. I'm gonna get this done. Keep that attitude, right?
The squeaky cog gets the oil, my mum used to say.
I love.
And there's actually a lot of her sayings in this book, things like that. So.
Then you also honoured, her legacy as well, which is what a lot of people want to do for their families. And write a book, as they say, Mark Manson in The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F said, write a book is our immortality project, because a book will live on beyond our physical presence on this earth. And every single human being should give themselves the permission to at least get it done. First of all, for themselves, but then the people. I mean, I've just been reading so many books, especially the last 3 or 4 months when we've had more time off and all that. But, I just love getting the knowledge. I think you pick up something from every single person, and that's what builds your wisdom, right?
Tribes.
All right. Well, lovely to connect. Thank you for sharing your story. Cloud Kingdoms, guys, is out, ready for you to grab a copy for your little ones, or for you to read to the little ones, or who knows, it's entertaining. Just check it out if you found, I'm curious about some of all the things that you've kind of mentioned that are in there. So have an amazing week, and we're going to have another author for you guys next Monday. And as always, like to finish off being Monday, is go out and smash it out. Bye, guys.